Hello everyone, True Zero Emissions here. So we're at Griffith Park. It's beautiful, beautiful day. The weather does feel like it's cooling off, but I don't know what's going to happen as the sun goes. Well, is the sun going up or are we just turning? I actually don't know at the moment. I usually would say that we are turning toward the sun, but maybe it's a combination of the two, right? But I remember being so surprised and excited about the idea that when I learned the sun didn't rise and I learned that we spin and we're spinning toward the sun. That's what we call sunrise. And I thought, what? Well, how come we weren't taught that in school? Or were we, right? What are we being taught? What's the messages we're getting, right? So I don't want to blame school. Schools are very different. They have different knowledge. They have different goals. I do remember, like in preschool, it felt like military. Now, I wasn't in a military school, but I just remember the teachers treating us like we're little soldiers. Okay, and we're kids. We're like so itty bitty little. We're like, we're like 4. And they were lining us up and they said, stand in line. Your feet had to be right behind the person in front of you. And they would literally, we were out there for like, I think like probably around a half an hour, unless it just felt like a half an hour. My approximation is that it was half an hour making that line perfect, right? So we had to be in line perfectly. We had to sit down perfectly. We had to ask questions perfectly at the right time, right? I can't ask a question I had since yesterday that I was holding on to. Can't do that. I did that and I got in trouble. I wasn't doing it on purpose. Look at the little bunny. I mean, I intentionally was trying to learn, but I guess you have to ask questions about the material that's being presented at the moment. Someone put some water there. Oh, it's probably for the bunnies. Okay, oh, there's another road over there. We can go up that one. So we're at Griffith Park. I'm making short videos, hoping that some of these will upload. So if you hear me repeating myself, that's just what I do. Oh, hi everyone. Can you see my reflection down there? Hello. Really important that I don't crash while I'm waving to my shadow, which I'm actually waving to you with my shadow, right? So I remember when I was a kid, like very young, preschool, like just staring at my shadow going, wow, what's my shadow? What is that? I just was amazed by nature, everything, the sun, the ground, the planet. Okay, I gotta be careful because I see very loose sand right here. Now I could ride in the tracks, which will be better, right? Or I could ride off to the side, which is what I tend to do. I don't know why, but it tends to be more stable on the side of a road if there's loose sand in the middle. I'm not sure why that is, but I am going to make sure I go out of the way from this person. I don't want to be close to them. I might have to eat one of my Cliff Bars. Thank you. I thought I was going to have to go in the sand. It's slippery. Oh yeah, it really is. I'm in the best shape I've been in my whole adult life. In fact, when I was learning to ride this, because I played football in high school, and that was the hardest training I ever did. They called what they called Hell Week, and some people died from the heat. They would die, the kids would die, some of them. It reminds me of that even more. Like when you're first learning to ride it, it works all the muscles, and even though I'm not using my upper body's sore because I'm balancing. So everything gets sore. And I would say if you're interested in learning to ride one, they make good entry-level ones that are small. Like In Motion is a company, In Motion. That's a good company. But you can get anything. Anything you get is fine. And you can get used ones. But wear full gear. Wear a full helmet. If you fall forward, you don't want to hurt your face. Some people leave the open helmets. Those aren't safe. I don't think they're safe. Wear the protection here if you fall. Yeah, wear full gear and just enjoy it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like anything where you're balancing, like whether it's like paddle boarding and.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm practicing every day. I practice. I've been riding for 2 months.
Then do you have like all the camera and everything because you like ride home and want to be sure you're protected that way too?
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
You
like
have
a dash
someone,
cam almost.
yeah, and I do need to get a camera that records behind me.
Oh, right,
I
right.
don't have that right now, but this is better than nothing.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because having something that shows what happened, right? If something happens.
Oh, yeah, God forbid. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Most people are respectful though,
that's good.
and like we know, accidents can happen where they just don't see you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like they're trying to hit you, but
Yeah.
if they don't see you, but yeah, if you're looking for the balance and the exercise part of it, I recommend it.
Right on. Cool.
And
Thank
it,
you.
yeah, and I'll tell you, just as a little secret on how I learned, I could not learn how to balance on this, so I used a shopping cart. I held onto it,
Mm-hmm.
and I just rode around
Mm-hmm.
pushing a shopping cart until I could let go.
Okay.
That's how I did it.
Okay.
Most people don't do that, but I had terrible balance.
Okay.
Once I got it down, though, it was easier.
That's so cool. I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
that.
yeah. So thank you for asking.
Thank you. In motion, right?
In motion, yeah, they make like a V10F is what I learned on.
Okay.
V10F, but just look at In Motion, you'll see all their products because there's so many different ones out there, and some of them just have like fancy looking lights and stuff.
Yeah.
But you want one from a company that you have customer support from,
Yeah.
that has a good warranty. So
Yeah.
make sure you look at all that,
Yeah. Yeah.
because a lot of the stuff on Amazon, people tell me, not just in electric unicycles, but in general, they'll buy something like a scooter or something and they don't have any support.
Yeah.
So Amazon will support you to a degree, but you really want support from the
Manufacturer.
from the manufacturer.
Yeah.
And you see what the sand was doing?
Yeah.
I'm slipping around here.
Sorry, didn't mean to like make you stop.
Oh no, it's good.
Okay.
I enjoy challenges, so I like going slow. Take care.
You too. Be well.
Thank you. So that was a great opportunity to connect with someone, and she's interested in the electric unicycle for the purpose of improving her health and balance. I'm using my own words. You heard her say it. You heard her use her own words. So whatever she said is right. I'm just telling you what I think she said, right? Remember that no perfect communication that we talked about? So you and I could be hearing different things because we're all different and we have different experiences, and we hear what we know in a way, right? Okay, we went that way. I went that way and came out that way. Where else can we go? I don't know if there's any other paths on this side. And I also don't know how I got over here. I think I'm remembering right now. Okay, he's going there. Should I go over here? Should I go down? Well, here's one. I don't want to pedal clip though. I don't know. I'm not doing that. That's a pedal clipping opportunity there because the sides go up. Not doing it. Can I do this? Maybe. I gotta stay away from the mountains on the sides. How does that look? Look at that. Should we do it? Hang on. Oh, that was risky because there was a rock. Did you see that rock sticking up? That cement rock? Whew. So I'll just share with you when I did that. I just focused on relaxing my mind and my body and trusting my experience, my previous experiences of riding and keeping it stable and keeping it upright, and knowing that the unicycle, in my mind, I'm thinking the unicycle wants to stay up. It wants to keep going. I don't mean keep going like take off. I mean it wants to keep going. It wants to keep us up, right? That's nice. You can spell things there. Okay, I don't know where I go down here. I think I'll go down where he is. Oops, I just hit a bump. I almost fell. Okay. I'm going to try to go around him without startling him. Hello. See how I'm going slow? I could have went there, but then I have to duck for the tree. Now, I can't tell you the world of difference it is to pass someone slowly and interact with them before you get to them, like a little bit before, compared to just flying by someone. All I can say is never, never, never do that, and be polite to people, right? It makes a difference. It really does. You know, it's the difference between making someone's day or ruining it, right? If you startle someone, it makes their heart jar. It makes their nervous system jump. It And maybe I'm just talking about myself. Maybe some people aren't affected by it. But I've seen people that are affected by it. When I first started riding a scooter, and I was going walking speed, but I would pass someone on the side of them, and they would say, ding the bell, and I could see that I startled them. Now, that may not be any different if I was just walking, but they're seeing something that's not a person. They're seeing like a scooter. So that could be what alarmed them. It's not that I was going fast, or that, it's not that I was going fast, or that, what? I forgot what, I lost my train of thought. Wow, look at all, there's so many paths here. Now, I don't think I went up this path. There's supposed to be hundreds of paths up here, right? Hundreds. Amazing. The lady was apologizing for distracting me. I told her, I said, no, I enjoy the challenge of going slow. I was just trying to show her, I was pointing out that the sand was making me, like, it was really wobbly. But I was able to stay up because, like I said, the unicycle wants to stay up, you know. Hi. You like that? I know, thank you. See, she just took that in. She said, that's cool. See how she stopped? Now, I didn't know if she was mad or not. That's why I interacted with her. I asked her. That's why I said, you like it? And she goes, cool. But I couldn't see her face, so I just asked her, right? Now, I took a chance right there. She could have, like, you know, she could have been mad. She could have said, you know, anything, right? But she said something positive. She said, cool. Right? To me, that means she's trying to connect. She wants to connect. We're built for that. We're built for connection. And a lot of people they want to connect, but then when they connect, it hurts them, like emotionally and physically, like it's literally a physical, right? And that's because we all have different experiences. We're all built differently in a way, right? Now, I don't think I'll go down that path. I see a lot of bushes. What I mean is we all have a different experience. We all experience differently. I'm not sure I'm saying that correctly. Oh gosh, my head's itching, and it's underneath the helmet. Am I going to be able to reach it? So I'm going to slide the helmet up, try to reach that spot. I know I'm moving the camera too. There we go. Much better. Oh, the observatory's up there. I see my tire mark here. See this? I've been on this road already. I've already been on this road. I want to go on new roads. I thought I was on a new road. Okay. I think I'm having too much fun right now interacting with people. Well, I've learned that there's more people out, I think, in the morning than at night. I'm not sure I'm saying that, but I'm not actually sure of that. Here's the thing about nighttime. Nighttime, you get a couple hours before night, and then it's dark, right? If you go in the morning, you get a couple hours where it's really cool. And by the way, I'm starting to sweat, so it is getting hotter. Whew, my forehead's sweating, the helmet. So in the morning, you got a couple nice hours of cool air, right? And what else? Oh, here's that steep hill. Here's that steep hill. You ready? See if we can do it. Nope. I have to get more speed to do that. I have a bad habit of going too slow on hills. And then I'll speed up because the Lynx has so much power that it doesn't have any problem speeding up. Like while I'm going, like if I'm at the bottom of a hill and I could speed up in the hill because it has massive power, torque, right? But going up a hill when it's dirt like this, we need some speed, or it could just, we lose traction, right? Okay, let's see. I'm not even sure I can make this hill. That's not that steep, really, compared to what I've seen people do. Let me get more speed now. Here we go. Hang on. We did it. That was fun. I was just thinking of what I've seen other electric unicycles do. But they're doing it on cement, you know. Dirt I've seen pretty steep as well. That was a steep hill, though. Whew. I don't know if you could see how steep it was, but it was steep, I'll tell you that. Okay. Where are we? There's so many beautiful houses up here. There was a woman I used to talk to at the gym that used to help the homeless people, going back to that subject. It's been a couple videos since we talked about homeless, but I'm not sure the correct words to use, because some people are like, oh, you're not supposed to say homeless. I don't know what to say. Okay, they don't have a home. Homeless. I don't know what... I'm not trying to offend anyone, but I'll just say homeless for now until I have better words to use. But there was a woman, if I understood correctly, she had a big house with many, many bedrooms. And she was committed her life to helping the homeless. And it just seemed like it was really hard on her. Like the responsibility, I think the word is daunting. A daunting task, right? I mean, how does one person help a lot of homeless people, right? And but she did her best. I know that. And she wouldn't talk about it much. You know, she didn't want to really discuss it. She'll answer questions, but I didn't really know what to ask. And I didn't want to make her uncomfortable. But everyone does what they can, right? And some people more than others are known for helping others. Like this lady was known by, I think, everybody at the gym. Most people knew that she helped people. Meaning just giving them a place to stay. I don't know what else, if there was more than that, or just giving them a roof, you know. But anyway, here we are in Griffith Park. It's an enormous park. What if we could see all the positive things in life? What if we could see that? I know when I was a kid, a child, growing up, very young. Well, the first big disappointment, I'm going negative now, sorry, was school was such a disappointment. And I think the best thing that children can have is access to the rich world of curiosity, questions, and the material that is, if I say the positive things in our world, not just the negative, right? Like when I think of the news kind of mixes it up. It'll have negative and positive. But I know I was speaking with a man, I've said this a few times, I was speaking with a gentleman whose daughter was in a very high position for the news. And she spent her whole life working her way up to the top. And she told the father said, how do you know, because I was speaking to the father, right? The father asked this question. He said, how do you know what stories you're going to cover? Like, what's the news? How do you know? And she said, Dad, the news is already planned for the whole year. Well, that's a big hole right there. Then the news is planned ahead of time, like a year. Now, what does that mean? Do you think that means they know exactly what crimes are going to take place and who did it and what temperature it's going to be every day or who wins the lottery? I don't think it's that, but it might be something like, we're going to cover this kind of story here, and then this kind of story here, and this kind of story here, right? Because everything seems like it's always happening, right? Good and bad. So I thought that was interesting to learn that. Now I'm just talking about one news, a major news. I don't know if it's called a corporation, but it doesn't mean they're all that way. But the implication was that that's how news is. It's planned way ahead of time. And again, it doesn't mean anybody knows the names of who's doing what and who exactly is going to do what. But it means that what stories will be covered is known ahead of time. Isn't that interesting? And I don't know what that means. What does that mean to you? If we consider that as a possibility, right? I often will look at this place that we call home, and I imagine, like, Wow. I mean, it's like Rick Friedrich said. Um, I forgot how he worded it, but it's like he said that life basically is supernatural. Like just existing, just being here, and what we have and what we are is like supernatural, right? I'm not sure that's the exact word he used, but it was something like that, like something like amazing, like it's like magic, right? And if you look through history of science and you know what one of the things that is said about it is that we say that we know everything, or we know what's possible and what's not possible, right? I call it knowing everything. If we know what's possible and what's not possible, and how many times have we done that, and then things completely change, where what we thought was impossible actually is possible. And then you get quotes like, something's only impossible until it's not, right? Like everything's transitioning from impossibility to possibility. There's the Hollywood sign. There was a group ride, I think, that went around here or up to the Hollywood sign last night. I was too tired to go on that ride. I really wanted to go. But I just was too tired. That's interesting. So that dog was totally okay with me until this other dog was coming up. And then the dog became like started barking. But then again, maybe the dog just didn't notice me. It's possible. And then suddenly noticed me. He got right underneath your feet, huh? He got right underneath you.
Huh. You go downhill on that thing?
Yeah.
Wow. It's pretty easy to use?
Yep.
How long did it take to use that thing?
It took a couple weeks.
Wow.
I practice every day though. I stay with it. But
How fast do you go on that thing?
well, I just go slow on it, but it can go fast.
On it on the street?
Yeah, it can go 50.
Holy jeez.
This one. I don't do that, but I just go slow on it.
You have to have that thing, that's not like a DMV registered thing, is it?
Not yet. I want to get it registered. I want to, because I want to insure it and everything. I want to do that.
Oh, good point.
I mean, a lot of people don't want that, right? I want it. I have a motorcycle license. I want to do it right away, you know. So if I have to go to court and request that, which would be interesting, maybe I'll do it. But the police don't say anything to me, probably because I go slow on it. You know, I go slow. If I go fast, I think they'll be talking to me, right? But I just go slow. And but yeah, the way I learned to ride it, if you can't get the hang of it, because some people get the hang of it right away, I couldn't. I held onto a shopping cart and just followed it until I could do it, and then I let go and I could ride it. And then once you ride it, you just get better and better. Yeah, yeah. But if you're at all even curious, I would say try it because it's so fun. It literally feels like you're kind of floating and flying. Like it's hard to explain.
I just worried, yeah, like anything is others, you know, not seeing or, you know, like people are crazy. You know, we ride bikes, but, you know, how many times we've almost been hit,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Turn in and,
No, you're totally right.
so,
Yeah, I have to be very careful to always watch. I just assume no one sees me.
that's right.
Yeah, that's the way you have to ride. Because someone can look right at you and not really compute that you're there. They don't.
They look through you.
Yeah. And people have there's been bad accidents like that where they go, I didn't see you, but they're looking and they're like, you saw me.
So how, does that have brakes?
Yeah, the motor's a brake.
So if you have to stop on a dime,
They say it stops faster than a bicycle or all those things because the whole motor stops you. It's powerful. So if you lean back, it just stops. Yeah. It's a good design. People just love them. A lot of people that ride like motorcycles, bicycles, and scooters either own one or switch over to it. That happens a lot because there's something about how small it is, how easy it is to load up. There's no maintenance on it, right?
what's the bat? Is that a disc brake? Or no, it's electrical.
It's just electric. So you know how electric brakes work on an electric car?
Right.
like how you feel it stopping you. It's real powerful, and sometimes you can adjust that. It's like that, real strong. The more you lean back, the faster it stops. So I can go down steep hills, and it will not let me go faster. As long as I'm leaning back, it won't go faster. Yeah, it's pretty neat. Yeah, people are like, how do you stop? You're not holding anything. And it's scary to look at. But when you do it, it just feels, you have to get used to it. You do. It takes some getting used to.
How long's the battery on that thing?
How long does it last? It'll go, well, the speed, just cruising around here, it would probably go a couple 100 miles. But if I'm going like fast, if I'm going like, let's say I'm going like 30, then it's more like 50 miles if I'm doing 30 miles an hour. It's still a lot. People use these to commute with. They take them to work and everything. Yeah, they park the car, take this. I tell people, put your car on non-operation. Well, what I do is I don't know if there's a way where they want you. So what I do is I go on the sidewalk slow. Like here, I'm going walking speed. I'm just going real slow. I'll tell you right now, if you go fast, people will be calling the ranger. They'll complain. But if you go slow, no one seems to care. No one wants to be startled, I tell people, right? So don't come up behind people. I got a bell right here. I'm not going to use it. It's super loud. That's for cars, really. And it flashes the light, and it makes like a loud bird sound. Like a... It's the world's loudest horn. That's what it's... Amazon, the world's loudest horn. But, yeah, and I just pushed the button right there. Yeah, it's loud. And then I have another horn here. That's a horn. I don't have that one with me. It goes on this finger. Yeah, you just push the button. It's wireless. So if you want to get started, I would say InMotion V10F. Look at InMotion. They make really good starter electric unicycles to get started on. Oh, there's many different kind. And they've come so far in just the past couple years. Like, they've changed a lot. Like, this one has suspension. See it moving? They didn't have suspension a couple years ago. Yeah, and some people resisted it. They're like, we don't need suspension. And I'm like, well, stick with the old one then. Most people want it for their knees, for their back, and it is nice. Yeah, this one's called a Lynx, and it has among the best suspension. Like, it just floats. It just floats around.
Did you fall on the first time you were doing it? Or
I fell a lot at first, yeah. Yeah. You want to wear the tailbone padding. No one told me. Oh, wow. That's a big one, because if you fall back, you hit the tailbone, it takes a long time to heal. I didn't know that. Whew. Or if they told me, I didn't listen. I'm like, what? Yeah, but now I wear a motorcycle jacket, but you just wear elbow pads, wear something that protects your wrist. I wear the finger covers, but some people just wear that. But if you fall, I don't want to be cutting my fingers up. And wear, that one, wear knee pads. And wear some kind of protective shoe, not steel-toed boots. You'll still break your toes. I just talked to someone who was wearing steel-toed boots, and he's like, yeah, I broke my toes, even though I was wearing steel-toed boots. So I think that motorcycle shoes, which is what these are, they're just entirely built to not let your foot move around. So I think the boot he had was like, it was loose, so his foot still jammed forward. Like, this one squeezes my foot here, and it won't let that happen. So yeah, just wear the proper gear, and you're set. And don't forget the shopping cart. If needed. Yeah.
Have a good one.
You too, take care. So the electric unicycle is a great conversation starter, as you can see. People are just so curious about alternative transportation, what I'll call it, right? Alternative transportation. I'm just imagining like commercials on television promoting the electric unicycles. I don't know if we have those commercials. I know they're on YouTube. But you know what? That's advertising. That's a lot, because not everybody watches television. I mean, most people watch like YouTube. I wonder what the statistics are on that. Like, how many people watch television versus watch television and don't watch like YouTube, for example, and how many people watch YouTube and don't watch television, and what are the numbers on those? What's the percentages? And then how many people watch both, and what's the percentage of each one they watch? But it would be. I still think it'd be neat to see this on television, on the news. Well, look, on the news. When I say the news, I don't mean negative. This was like the electric unicycle was on the news, and they were showing some guys like racing through the city, and it just looked like they were outlaws. And to me, that would be like equivalent to not calling those guys outlaws, but they chose to use footage of people going through the city between cars and stuff. I guess probably in traffic, right? Which even motorcycles do that. But it just, the way it was edited together, it made it look like it was really extremely dangerous. And they can be dangerous, right? It's how you use it, right? It's how you use it. But how nice would it be to see a video that actually showed it as an alternative to an automobile? And showed it like being used peacefully and quietly, like I'm using it, like where you're just cruising, walking speed, and you're being safe, you're not scaring people, and you actually show that you care and respect others, right? Because if you make it look like everyone that rides these is like doesn't respect people, doesn't care about their own safety, doesn't care about other safety, then it's really not painting a picture that is really showing the full spectrum of what we're actually dealing with these electric unicycles, right? Because actually very few people are riding, between the cars and racing around like that and stuff. And even people that do that also can go very slow at other times. It's just that particular day and that moment, they were going between the cars, which even motorcycles do that, right? It's called lane splitting or lane filtering, right? In California, that is allowed, by the way. And other states are trying to figure out how to integrate that into their systems, because it does save motorcycle riders' lives. They've already proven that over and over again, just like bicycles. How the bicycles, they've learned that bicycles not stopping at intersections and red lights and stop signs when it's clear, right? Let's say there's no cars cross traffic coming. By them slowing down and then going and not sitting there and just stopping and waiting for the light to change is safer, because they're not a target. If they're just sitting out there, they can get hit, and they do get hit. They just get run right over. Okay, just get run over, like the gentleman was saying a minute ago. He's like, yeah, bicycles are so dangerous, and how, he's like, how do you, like, he's wondering what's the control, right? Like, we're used to looking at a bicycle and then we know the brakes are here, right? The brakes are brake, right? Now with this, where's the brake? It's just a different brake. It's a big brake, and all your weight's on it, so it works really powerfully, right? Now on an electric, on a bicycle, if you slam on the front brake, you're going to go over the handlebars. If you slam on the rear brake, it just skids. It doesn't really stop you, right? The front brake does most of your stopping power. Well, this is like the ideal braking system, because you're not going to fly over the handlebars. That's not the way it works. This will only stop directly proportional to how much you lean back. So you can't lose your balance and fall forward, right? And I'm talking about once you know how to ride it. Once you know how to ride it. If you don't know how to ride it, you might just fall because you don't have your balance yet. But the way it stops is very, very efficient and very, very effective. And it's been proven that these actually stop, I think, in a shorter distance than a bicycle. I think there was some tests done of that. You can confirm that for yourself by looking it up on YouTube, see what you can find on that. So I'm still practicing my stopping distances, like stopping quickly, where you lean way back. I'm practicing my sitting down and riding. I'm practicing my sitting down and turning. I'm also practicing my high speed, so that when I ride in the groups, I can keep up safely, right? And if I can't keep up, I'll let them go and I'll catch up later. It's always riding within my limits and letting myself have as much practice experience as possible. Now, let's go back to what I was saying earlier about, before I started speaking with that polite and very sweet couple and the polite gentleman. The city looks so amazing to me, right? And you can see, like, there's buildings there, and then over there there's some buildings over there, like an area, a concentrated area of them. Then there's some buildings over there, and then over there there's some more buildings over there. Like, they're kind of grouped together, right? And I don't really notice that when I'm actually in the city. Like, it's hard to see where the buildings are grouped together, but it just looks neat. It's really neat to see the city from above. And I'm not, at the moment, my mind is in a different place than it was earlier when I was starting to share with you what I was feeling at that moment, which I was going to say is like how beautiful it is here. You know, and our planet is such a beautiful place. And when I think of war, I think everyone's fighting to get their needs met. And I think it is urgently important from the earliest ages of education and continuously throughout life to reflect on together as a world on how can we work together, worldwide solution-oriented collaboration, working together so that everyone's needs could be met, right? And never fighting, never using technology or the human body as a weapon against another or against the self, right? So we make our world, we build it day to day, each day. We build the future every day, right? So we're living in the future and we're building the future. The present is literally the future being created. That's what the present is. And it is a gift, right? Okay, everyone, True Zero Emissions signing off. We're going to end this video and then we'll start a new one. I don't want the videos to be too long because I'm having trouble with my internet and I'm losing like almost all the videos I upload just are not uploading. So I'm going to start on making shorter videos and hope some of them make it up there to get uploaded. See you soon in the next video in a few seconds. Okay, everyone, True Zero Emissions. See you soon. Stop video. Stop recording.